Plane crash in Inner Mongolia's scenic area claims 2 lives. Scenic area's previous claims dismissed as mere rumors. Horror. Hotel room transformed into trash heap in just 3 days by Chinese tourists. Shanghai's Bund storefront window turns into garbage dump, exposing lack of street trash bins. CCP extensively promotes construction of 21 emergency infrastructures, preparation for war or wealth plundering. Surge in diabetes cases after new coronavirus recovery. Multiple regions in China report monkeypox outbreaks. The first typhoon of the year hits China with a maximum wind force of 14. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Plane crash in Inner Mongolia's scenic area claims 2 lives. Scenic area's previous claims dismissed as mere rumors. Recently, China's aviation industry has been experiencing a string of misfortunes. According to NTD-TV, on July 8, a plane crash occurred at a scenic area in Xingberg left Banner, Ulaanbaatar City, Inner Mongolia, leading to the fatalities of both the pilot and a student passenger. It is known that the involved aircraft was a powered trike. During an interview, Ms. Wang, the mother of the deceased student, stated that her 12-year-old son and their family had come from Shanghai to enjoy a vacation on the grassland during the summer break. Unfortunately, the tragic incident happened on the 4th day of their trip. On that evening, the father of the child paid an additional 498 yuan, $69.73, to allow their son to experience a scenic flight on a trike. Ms. Wang said, "The plane didn't go far before it collided with a motorcycle. The pilot died instantly, and my son was thrown from his seat and lost consciousness. By the time local rescue personnel arrived, her son had already passed away." On the evening of the incident, netizens had already posted videos of the accident online, informing the public about the casualties resulting from the plane crash. However, the next day, the responsible individuals at the scenic area denied the occurrence of the accident, claiming it was a rumor spread on the internet. After the accident was confirmed, the actions of the scenic area sparked heated discussions online. A lawyer cited provisions of the criminal law, explaining that if individuals responsible for reporting fail to do so or provide false information about an accident, resulting in delays in rescue efforts, they could face imprisonment for up to 3 years or detention. In severe cases, the penalty could be 3 to 7 years of imprisonment. Only on the second day after the incident, July 10, did the Cultural Tourism and Emergency Departments of Xingberg left Banner finally respond to the media. They stated that multiple departments had been involved in the accident investigation. It is believed that if the scenic area concealed a fatal accident, the relevant leaders and staff should face criminal charges. For major airlines expected to incur combined loss of nearly 16 billion yuan in first half of the year. Not only have they encountered consecutive technical issues, but the 3 major airlines in China have also reported significant losses in revenue during the first 6 months of the year. In detail, China's 3 major airlines, Air China, China Eastern Airlines, and China Southern Airlines, are expected to report a combined net loss of approximately 11.2 billion yuan to 14.1 billion yuan, equivalent to over $1.5 billion to $1.9 billion in the first half of the year. Hainan Airlines, as the 4th largest airline in China, is also projected to continue its losses, with an estimated loss of 1.5 billion yuan to 2.1 billion yuan, equivalent to approximately $210 million to $294 million. When discussing the reasons for the projected losses in the first half of the year, all 3 major airlines mention factors such as slower than expected recovery of international flights and the devaluation of the Chinese yuan against the US dollar. Additionally, China Southern Airlines cited oversupply in the domestic market and high and volatile oil prices as contributing factors. Due to the impact of the pandemic, the Chinese civil aviation industry experienced a sharp decline in production and incurred significant losses last year. In May of this year, the Civil Aviation Administration of China released the 2022 Statistics Bulletin on the Development of the Civil Aviation Industry, which revealed that in 2022, the entire industry achieved a cumulative operating revenue of 632.89 billion yuan, approximately $88.5 billion, marking a decrease of 15.8% compared to the previous year. However, losses amounted to 217.44 billion yuan, over $30 billion, reflecting an increase of 137.46 billion yuan, over $19 billion, in losses compared to the previous year. Horror. Hotel room transformed into trash heap in just 3 days by Chinese tourists. During the 2-month summer vacation, which is the peak tourist season, various tourist attractions are packed with visitors. Mainland China is also experiencing a tourism boom, with many hotels fully booked. According to a report from Chinese media Star Video, the hotel operators shared a horrifying story. They mentioned that the hotel accommodated 3 boys for a 3-day stay, and there were no issues during their time there. However, when the boys checked out, they simply left without claiming their 100 yuan deposit, approximately $13.96. Afterward, the hotel staff prepared to clean the room but were shocked when they opened the door. Leftover drinks, food, various packaging, toilet paper, and more were scattered all over the floor. The table was piled up with open food containers, and the once pristine white bedding was stained with large coffee-colored and red stains. There was trash everywhere, and there was no place to stand or walk. The hotel operators suspected that the boys had intentionally played a prank, so they decided to upload the video online to seek justice. Netizens who watched the video left comments such as, "These people aren't human if they can make such a mess, oh my goodness, I can't even bear to look at it." Other victims also spoke up, saying, "I rented my place to 3 recent college graduates, and they did the same thing. They left more than 20 bags of garbage, and the garbage bins and kitchen were infested with flies, and I rented to people from out of town, they didn't inform me and ran away with the key. I can't even step inside the room. They filled a huge snakeskin bag with several bags of garbage. I can't even move the mop on the floors of the bathroom, kitchen, and bedroom." Shanghai's Bund storefront window turns into garbage dump, exposing lack of street trash bins. Recently, Shanghai's famous landmark, the Bund, entered its peak tourist season. However, on July 15th, a video caused a major uproar on the internet. The video showed a window ledge at the Bund filled with trash left by visitors, and some people were even casually throwing their garbage around. Leftover packaging bags, boxes, and beverage bottles almost completely covered the entire ledge. According to one of the sanitation workers, the window ledge constantly had garbage appearing there, requiring cleaning every few hours. Currently, the amount of trash is relatively small, but sometimes the entire corner can be completely filled. As one of Shanghai's prominent symbols, such uncivilized behavior on the Bund has attracted the attention and discussion of many netizens. Although many netizens disagree with littering, they have expressed their difficulties in finding trash bins, and even shared their own experiences. In fact, the shortage of trash bins in Shanghai has been criticized before. In early April this year, the topic of "where are the trash bins in Shanghai" trended on social media. Some roads have very few trash bins, and it's hard to find a place to dispose of even a mineral water bottle when traveling normally. Some Shanghai residents complained that there were too few trash bins on the streets, especially after implementing garbage sorting regulations. Some netizens jokingly remarked that in Shanghai, there are more coffee shops on the streets than trash bins. Even everyone in Shanghai carries coffee because there's nowhere to throw it away, or resort to throwing their garbage into the baskets of shared bicycles along the roadside. In response to these concerns, on April 20th, the director of Shanghai's Greenery and City Appearance Administration stated that in 2019, the city had 62,000 public waste bins. However, by the first half of 2022, this number had been reduced to 36,000. After conducting investigations, it was found that some areas had insufficient bin allocation, leading to an optimization increase to 38,000 bins. This means that Shanghai has reduced the number of trash bins by 24,000 over the past 3 to 4 years, accounting for over 1/3 of the city's original quantity. Considering Shanghai's population is close to 25 million, this reduction has had a significant impact. CCP extensively promotes construction of 21 emergency infrastructures, preparation for war or wealth plundering. According to a report from China's state-run media, Xinhua News Agency, on July 14, the Chinese premier, Li Qiang, chaired an executive meeting of the State Council. The meeting reviewed and approved the guiding opinions on actively and steadily promoting the construction of dual-use public infrastructure for emergency purposes in superlarge and megacities. During the meeting, it was emphasized that promoting the construction of dual-use public infrastructure for emergency purposes in major cities is an important measure to coordinate both development and security. Furthermore, the meeting called for the mobilization of private investment and encouraged increased involvement of private capital in the construction, renovation, operation, and maintenance of dual-use emergency facilities. The term dual-use originally emerged during the period of China's zero-COVID policy to epidemic prevention when authorities required the conversion of public venues into makeshift hospitals. The term dual-use appeared in official documents during that time. Now, with the easing of epidemic prevention measures, the sudden announcement of constructing dual-use emergency facilities has raised speculation about whether the Chinese government is preparing for war. Furthermore, the meeting stated that the construction of dual-use facilities aims to serve as tourist and wellness facilities during normal times, but can be immediately converted into isolation and treatment centers during major public emergencies. This helps address the shortcomings in public health prevention, control, and treatment capabilities effectively. Commentator Tang Jingyuan stated in an interview with NTD on July 15 that amidst the complete relaxation of the epidemic, the sudden promotion of dual-use facility construction by the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, could serve to address the outbreak of war or significant domestic upheaval and social unrest. Regardless of the specific circumstances, it signifies that the authorities are making preparations for a potential situation where a large number of casualties might occur within a short period, necessitating the establishment of extensive centralized medical facilities. He believes that, comparatively speaking, the likelihood of large-scale civil unrest in China is currently low, and the authorities may be leaning towards war preparations. This also reflects Xi Jinping's consistent emphasis on the concept of thinking the unthinkable. Additionally, the authorities in the CCP have called for private capital to participate in the construction of dual-use facilities, which is seen as a signal of the empty national treasury. The 3-year lockdown due to the pandemic has caused severe damage to the Chinese economy, leading to the closure of numerous private enterprises, withdrawal of foreign investment, industrial chain relocation, loss of export orders, and a significant decline in exports. As a result, CCP's fiscal revenue has sharply decreased, and many provinces have faced deficits in their finances, barely maintaining operations with central government appropriations. Some local governments have accumulated increasing debts and face the risk of default. Political commentator Yu Luowen remarked, "Currently, the CCP doesn't have money for infrastructure development. This is just a pretense. It aims to solicit donations from wealthy individuals, seizing the money from their hands. If constructing a modular hospital costs 1 billion, but the money seized could be 10 billion, then 9 billion can be freely allocated. By using the pretext of war, they extort money from the people's pockets." Observer Shurjin believes that this not only leads to the waste of social resources but is also a trap by the CCP authorities to plunder private enterprises. He urged these businesses not to fall into the trap. Commentator Yu Luowen said, "It reminds people of Mao Zedong's era of preparing for war and famine, such as deep digging of tunnels and hoarding grain, even though there was no international tension at that time. It deliberately and artificially created the excuse of going to war in order to control the people. Due to the poor economic situation, people will have grievances. For those who have a rebellious mentality, they can be charged with heavier crimes, accusing them of undermining our preparedness for war and famine, labeling them as class enemies." Surge in diabetes cases after new coronavirus recovery. Multiple regions in China report monkeypox outbreaks. the new coronavirus epidemic continues to spread in China, with the severity of post-infection complications in China has increased, resulting in a rising death toll. Notably, the appearance of diabetes complications after being infected with the new coronavirus has attracted public attention. Dr. Miao Guoxian, chief physician in the Department of Endocrinology at Beijing Dongxiamen Hospital, Beijing University of Chinese Medicine, pointed out, new coronavirus is different from ordinary colds. While common viruses tend to target specific systems and organs, the new coronavirus affects variable systems and organs. It can affect multiple organs such as the heart, kidneys, pancreas, blood vessels, and central nervous system. Therefore, if the virus attacks your pancreas, for example, the function of the pancreas may decline rapidly, leading to the development of diabetes. At the same time, cases of monkeypox have been reported in multiple regions. On July 14, the Chinese CDC released the monitoring data for monkeypox in June. From June 2 to June 30, China reported 106 newly confirmed cases of monkeypox, with Guangdong Province reporting 48 cases, Beijing reporting 45 cases, Jiangsu Province reporting 8 cases, Hubei Province reporting 2 cases, Shandong Province reporting 2 cases, and Zhejiang Province reporting 1 case. There were no severe cases or deaths. The true situation is unclear, and the news has sparked panic among the public. Dr. Li Tong, director of the Department of Respiratory and Infectious Diseases at Beijing Yuan Hospital, explained how the doctors diagnose monkeypox. Firstly, there must be a history of exposure. Monkeypox is an infectious disease, and one can only be infected by coming into contact with the source of infection. Secondly, we look at the symptoms. Typical symptoms of monkeypox include fever, enlarged lymph nodes, and skin lesions. Further confirmation requires swab samples of the skin lesions and blood tests for monkeypox virus nucleic acid, which need to be positive for a confirmed diagnosis of monkeypox. Dr. Fang Hailin, attending physician at the tuberculosis department of the Shanxi Provincial Tuberculosis Prevention and Control Institute, stated, the incubation period of monkeypox virus infection is 5 to 21 days, mostly 6 to 13 days. In the early stage, symptoms such as chills, fever, often above 38.5 degrees Celsius, headache, drowsiness, fatigue, back pain, or muscle pain may occur. Most patients experience swelling of the lymph nodes in the front areas, such as the neck, armpits, and groin. Skin rash appears 1 to 3 days after the onset of the disease. It takes about 2 to 4 weeks from the onset to scab formation and detachment. After scab detachment, redness or pigmentation may remain, and even scars, which can last for several years. The first typhoon of the year hits China with a maximum wind force of 14. Based on forecasts from the China Meteorological Administration and local meteorological departments, Typhoon Talim, the fourth typhoon of the year, strengthened to a strong tropical storm around 2 a.m. on July 16. It is expected to make landfall along the coast from Taishan, Guangdong to Wenchang, Hainan on the night of July 17 and then enter the Bibu Gulf in the early morning of July 18. It might become the first typhoon to hit China this year. It is expected that when the typhoon makes landfall along the coastal areas of Guangdong, the wind force in the sea and near the islands traversed by the center of the storm will reach 10 to 12 on the Beaufort scale, with gusts up to 13 to 14. Affected by Typhoon Talim, from the 16th to the 19th, there will be heavy rain or torrential rain in southern Yunnan, central and southern Guangxi, Guangdong, Hainan, southern Hunan, Jiangxi, western and southern Fujian, central and southern Anhui, Jiangsu, western Zhejiang, and southeastern Tibet. There also will be heavy to exceptionally heavy rainfall in the Bibu Gulf. During this period, there will also be strong convective weather such as thunderstorms and locally gusty winds associated with thunderstorms. Flooding is expected in the Pearl River Basin, including the Xijiang, Beijiang, Dongjiang, Hanjiang rivers, and coastal rivers, as well as the Nandu River, Jianhua River, and Wanquan River in southern Hainan, and the Jiulong River in Fujian. Some small and medium-sized rivers in the rainstorm area may experience floods exceeding warning levels. According to an announcement from the Guangzhou Railway Group, due to the typhoon weather conditions, railway services on July 17 throughout the day and until 1300 hours on July 18 for trains passing through the Jiangmen-Zhanjiang, Hainan Island, Haikao Suburban, and Guangzhou Maoming sections, as well as the Cheongzhou Strait Railway ferry services and passenger trains to and from the island from July 16 to 18, will be suspended. In addition, the Cheongzhou Strait passenger roll-on/roll-off ferry services will be suspended from 6 a.m. on July 16. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.